For some people, lack of promotion is feeling stuck. For some people, lack of salary increment is feeling stuck. For some people, lack of interesting work is feeling stuck. For some people, their colleagues not talking to them properly. इलॉन मस्क के और स्टीव जॉब्स की बुक पढ़ने से कोई स्टीव जॉब्स नहीं बनता है ना।
True.
तो लोगों को ये धोखा होने लगता है कि उसका पोस्टर लगाने से और उसके उसकी आत्मा हमारे में आ जाएगी। So what I say is that this shine formula framework helps a little bit, and like all formula, it is not adequate and complete. I give this example a lot of times. Sachin Tendulkar and Vinod Kambli started their career together. Everybody says that Vinod Kambli was far more talented than Sachin Tendulkar.
Hi, friends. My name is Bhavya Mangla and back again on the 49th episode of Unfiltered Conversation. We started this series with the objective of inviting different professionals who are doing extremely good in their career and to understand their perspective and what we can learn from them. Now, generally, when we look into a career, when we start, some people start slow, some people start very fast, but then somewhere around 35, 40, 45, somewhere they start realizing that the way in which they were going so far, now they are not going. Somewhere they get stagnant somewhere. They try too hard. They also realize that so far, whatever they were doing, everyone was celebrating. But now it is being considered to be a normal thing. They try many things, but then somehow they don't realize. They also start feeling that there's a lot of politics in the company, and that's why some people are going ahead and not getting the opportunity. Somewhere people also call it midlife crisis. So today we have a very interesting guest. His name is Anshuman Tiwari. He's a LinkedIn top voice having more than 72,000 followers. He is a career coach, especially for those people who are in their midlife. He's also called Brick by Brick Guy. So let's understand from him, from his wisdom of more than 30 years, that what is his perspective about all those people who are in their late 30s or early 40s. What are the challenges they are facing and what we can do about them? Hi, Anshman. Welcome.
Thank you very much for inviting me and for the introduction. काफी ज़्यादा बोल दिया आपने, but we are, we are trying. At least I am trying to coach, but the situation is real that people in mid-career, 30s, late 30s, early 40s, mid 40s, they feel stuck. We will look forward to this conversation, आपका unfiltered conversation, where we will try and unpack this topic. Let's start.
So I think the first important thing is it something real when we talk about midlife crisis, or is it something which is more in the social media and people talk a lot about it? Whether it's actually a problem or not a problem. Let's understand from that.
So short answer is it is. Long answer is that social media is a reflection of society. Uh, Most of the time, of course, there are quite a few fake things, but that fake thing is also a reflection of society. When people have all the time to create fake news and consume fake news, it is a reflection of their mindset that they are happy to create fake news and they are happy to consume fake news. Most of us know that this is fake. So I don't really feel that social media exists in some other planet. It is amongst us. People like you and me and everybody else around us are involved in that. So that is generally my point of view on anything on social media. But if you extend it to our question, which is
Mhm.
about career or mid-career, that feeling of being stuck is very, very normal. And if you do some maths also, millions of people would join the base of the pyramid. And as you grow and get upwards into your career, the pyramid or the triangle, whichever way you look at it, gets narrower and narrower. So at some point, even if you are the best, even if you are doing well, there is no room above. So there are multiple types of people who feel stuck. The most common ones are those who are doing something good and can't move up because they know they are good, but they are not getting opportunities. The other extreme is that people who are doing nothing but they still feel stuck because they start feeling entitled that मेरे 30 years experience हो गया, 20 years experience हो गया, so I should be general manager, I should be vice president or whatever XYZ. वो सोचते रह जाएंगे, उनका कुछ नहीं होने वाला. But and there's a long middle, which I call, these are people who are unclear, and that's okay. Unclear is not a bad thing, because कौन ही clear होता है? Only the
Yeah.
dead are clear. So अगर आप fully clear हैं तो means you are in some, you are dead. So most of the others are in between somewhere, some range of clarity. So returning back to your question, yes, absolutely, this is a very real phenomena, and it is not new. It has been around since the time work has been there. Particularly when work got structured and people, there were organizational concepts started taking root, when man moved from hunter gatherer to more organized work. This midlife crisis, mid career, जो भी आप बोलें,
Yeah.
in fact it might have been even worse that time, because there were hundreds and thousands of people and only one leader. So in the entire country or state, you would have only. So it might have been actually worse earlier. So अभी तो in times of LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube and all, we can talk about it. पहले कोई बात नहीं करता था.
True. True. But I think one very important aspect which is linked with this thing is that how do we come to know that yes, actually there is sort of a crisis or there is some sort of a stagnation. Either it has come or we are almost on the verge of reaching there, so that we can think about something.
That's a fair question. If you, because self-awareness is the step one of all improvement. If we are not self-aware कि हमारे में ये कमी है, or something is not working,
Yeah.
then God cannot help us. So तो कुछ नहीं होने वाला. So you are right. So again, short answer and long answer. Short answer is that it is that feeling that you will know. So it cannot be described. Your career feeling of stuck might be different from my career feeling of being stuck, and hundreds and millions of other people might feel it at different points in different situations. For some people, lack of promotion is feeling stuck. For some people, lack of salary increment is feeling stuck. For some people, lack of interesting work is feeling stuck. For some people, their colleagues not talking to them properly uh, can be feeling of getting stuck, or sidelined at work. So multiple things. But in general, the longer answer is that the symptoms that I gave are the longer answer, that if you are perceptive, if you are self-aware, you will start noticing that your manager is not giving you important work. You are in the same position band, salary levels, and even though he or she, your manager that is praising you and giving you, most of it sounds like fake. कोई important project नहीं मिलता है आपको, and in spite of getting decent grades and all, your salary hike is not much, because maybe your work is not valued, your position is not valued much. Your work may be valued, but that position, उसका कोट अनकोट हिंदी में बोलते हैं, उसकी उतनी औकात है, तो उससे आगे फिर कुछ होता नहीं है. That is a feeling of being stuck, and a lot of people in their late 30s, early 40s, mid 40s get to that position, and then the rest of the career is very slow, because from 45, if we assume median range age of 45, 60 तक काम करना है, तो 15 साल फिर ये बड़े कठिन होते हैं. तो which is where I say that, and this is for most people in career, this is a very difficult time, because parents are getting older, children are getting older and ready to leave. तो दोनों साइड से आप सैंडविच रहते हैं, बिकॉज सोसाइटी का एक्सपेक्टेशन भी रहता है, आपके मनी एक्सपेक्टेशन सबसे ज़्यादा रहते हैं इस टाइम पे, बिकॉज your medical expenses, your home expenses, your children's expenses, all of those, and I'm not making it sound like man or woman, दोनों के लिए
Yeah.
applicable है, जो भी प्राइमरी ब्रेड विनर है. तो ये और भी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हो जाता है, बिकॉज your needs and wants and desires are significantly higher, and
Hmm.
but your means and avenues and resources become either curtailed or limited.
Yeah, I think what you're saying looks to be very logical. And then when we see other people, we always see that that person is stuck or that person is not able to move further and do all that. But then majority of the times it is being observed that when we see ourselves, we generally are not able to understand that why I'm stuck or whether actually I'm stuck or not. So even though yes, it is true about self-awareness that we should be self-aware. So we feel that yes, I am self-aware, but still somehow we are not able to figure out, and I think that takes a lot of time to understand.
Takes a lot of time, and sometimes you need help. Uh, so I sometimes say that, people those who are compulsive smokers, habitual, उनको
Mhm.
पता है स्मोकिंग इज नॉट गुड फॉर हेल्थ, इट इज बैड फॉर हेल्थ, राइट? सो ऐसा तो कोई आदमी आपको मिलेगा नहीं जो बोलेगा कि दिन में 10 सिगरेट पीने से जो है मेरे लिवर अच्छे हो गया और हार्ट बढ़िया हो गया और दिमाग तेज चल रहा है, कोई भी नहीं मिलेगा. But
Yeah.
people find it very difficult to leave, right? And I'm not casting any judgment. ये सबका individual problem है. Similarly, people trying to lose weight or drinks or any other problem that they may. Everybody has those problems. So I see this mid-career issue as a similar thing. Everybody knows. हमको पता है
Mhm.
कि we are stuck. Sometimes we know what to do to get out of it, but करना बहुत मुश्किल होता है. So just like smoking, छोड़ना बहुत मुश्किल होता है. If you are in a career
Yeah.
rut, to come out of it is also very difficult. And sometimes you need help, sometimes you need surgical help, sometimes you need small push, sometimes you need radical push, depending on your situation. So I try and simplify this by saying that अगर आप मेडिकल सिचुएशन के लिए किसी की हेल्प ले सकते हैं, तो why
Yeah.
can't you take some help for your career situation, which is actually even more important, because अगर आपका करियर ठीक ठाक रहेगा, पैसे ठीक ठाक आते रहेंगे, तो आपका मेडिकल हेल्प you will be able to take care. आज के टाइम में when healthcare is getting even more expensive, and it will only get even further expensive if you don't have a proper career, तो कुछ होने नहीं वाला है. तो so actually career is very very important. People say health is important. Sometimes they say
Yeah.
your career is more important because your career is feeding your health. I'm not saying this lightly because कोई ये ना समझे कि career करियर पे ध्यान दो, हेल्थ पे मत दो. नॉट मीनिंग दैट, बट the
Yeah.
way the expenses are going up, it is extremely important to take care of your career. So I look at it this way, that it is almost like a medical issue. uh, अगर by pointing it out as a medical issue, if people can learn and take care of their mid career, तो हमारा
Mhm.
आपका प्रयास सफल है.
And whom do you think is responsible for identifying this gap? That yes, you have reached to a certain level, but now you are stuck there. Is it the individual responsibility, or if you are working in a corporate, in a company, then it is also the responsibility of, say, HR or maybe the top management to identify that, okay, now you are stuck at this place, and do you really feel that you are stuck, and what kind of help you need?
So see, in most cases, the HR and the top management or the organization is already giving you signals. So they have decided, they have done their job. उन्होंने तो डिसाइड कर लिया है, आप ही को समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. तो दिस इज फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट, मे बी 90% ऑफ इट इज आवर ओन रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. If we don't wake up and open our eyes and smell the coffee, as they say, I know people जिनको मैंने लिखा है कि in year end appraisal, and they were told that their time in the organization is up, and they are going out and telling others that मेरा appraisal बहुत अच्छा हुआ, and boss is very happy, because उन्होंने वही दो तीन वर्ड सुने बीच में जो उनको सुनने चाहिए, जो उनको सुनने थे, बाकी सब भूल गए. सो अब ऐसे लोगों का क्या किया जाए? तो देर आर दीज आर पीपल विद इन अस, राइट? अब यू कांट ब्लेम एचआर, यू कांट ब्लेम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, यू कांट ब्लेम द मैनेजर फॉर दिस. खुद ही लेना पड़ेगा आपको ब्लेम, कि आपको बोला गया साफ साफ कि आप साल भर में कुछ नहीं किया आपने. आई डोंट सी परफॉर्मेंस, आई डोंट सी पोटेंशियल, वाई आर यू इन दिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, यू शुड लुक फॉर सम जॉब. अब इसके बाद अगर कोई बाहर निकल के बोले कि बॉस इतना खुश है कि उन्होंने बोला कि यू शुड लुक फॉर अ जॉब, मीन्स ही थिंक्स और शी थिंक्स दैट आई एम फिट फॉर अ बेटर जॉब. ऐसे भी लोग होते हैं. तो
Yeah.
ऑफ कोर्स ऐसे लोग एक्सट्रीम केस होते हैं, बट आई एम जस्ट गिविंग एन एग्जांपल सो दैट पीपल रिमेंबर दैट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आप ही की है. बाय शिफ्टिंग इट टू समबडी एल्स, वेदर इट इज योर मैनेजर और एचआर एंड ऑल, आप बस अपने आप को दिलासा दे रहे हैं.
Mhm.
कुछ चेंज नहीं होगा. सो इफ यू वांट एनी चेंज देन यू हैव टू टेक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी.
So what you're trying to say is that in general people are in the denial mode, means they don't understand that what their boss or senior is talking about it, and they just try to see what they feel comfortable from that, and they just pick up that only,
Many
and they
situations, many.
continue with their path the way in which they are going.
That is the path
Then
of least resistance. That is the easy path. And this is 90%. Of course, the 10% is where manager and other people can also help. So,
Mhm.
like I said, this is mostly 90%. Of course, managers, a good manager will say, that, hold on, तुमको समझ में नहीं आया. What I am trying to say is that you are performing zero. I am not giving you any increment. I am not giving you any bonus. इसका मतलब है you are not doing well.
yeah.
कभी कभी ऐसे क्लियरली बोलना पड़ता है. आई हैव डन दिस मेनी टाइम्स इन माई करियर टू पीपल हु डिड नॉट गेट एनी मैसेज फॉर लास्ट 3 to 6 months. रिटर्न, वर्बल, फ्रेंडली, वार्निंग, कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आता उनको. तो उनको फिर दूसरे तरीके से समझाना पड़ता है.
Mhm.
तो वो 10% तो मैनेजर के हाथ में है, दैट आई एग्री, एंड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के हाथ में है टू बी क्लियर, नॉट गिव एम्बिगुअस मैसेजेस. जैसे वो बच्चों को आजकल क्लास पार्टिसिपेशन और अटेंडेंस के सर्टिफिकेट मिलते हैं. ये तो आपका काम है ना. अटेंडेंस का सर्टिफिकेट क्यों मिलता है? यू आर एक्सपेक्टेड टू कम टू स्कूल, यू आर एक्सपेक्टेड टू डू दिस. उसके लिए क्या सर्टिफिकेट? तो ऐसे कंपनी में भी पीपल आर expected to praise and give e-cards and thanks and all, and I'm in HR, I'm speaking with full responsibility that that is nonsense. This is your job. जब आप किसी को अपना जॉब करने के लिए तारीफ करने लगते हो तो वो हर दिन ऑफिस आता है सोचते हुए कि आज फिर कुछ ई कार्ड मिलेगा, आज फिर कुछ अप्रिसिएशन लेटर मिलेगा. व्हेन वी वर ग्रोइंग अप साल में कभी एक मिलता था, वो भी बॉस ने कोई पीठ थपथपा दिया, अच्छा यार, गुड गुड वर्क, अच्छा किया. वो भी कभी 2-3 साल में होता था. ऐसा नहीं कि हम काम नहीं करते थे. But the this is also spoiling a little bit that people start to think that सारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी मैनेजर की है, सारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कंपनी की है, हमारा कोई इसमें बनता नहीं है कुछ. तो वो तो, and then you look around and you can make out that some people are getting ahead in their career, some people are falling behind. तो जो getting ahead वाले होते हैं वो यही सोचते हैं. तो वो आपको दिख जाएगा.
So now it leads to two aspects. One is that how we can go to the top pyramid, as you're talking in the beginning. The second thing is it necessary that everyone should aim to the top, or wherever they are, they can feel contented about it and they can do something so that they can still remain relevant?
वो तो, like I said, self जो awareness है, assessment है, that is extremely important, because if you are able to do some kind of a self assessment that I have the capability of reaching this, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, जो पेरेंट्स बोलते हैं, हमारी दादी बोलेंगी कि नहीं बेटा तुम तो जग जीत लोगे और तुम अगला इलॉन मस्क आप ही हैं, और वो सब नहीं. आप आपका अपना असेसमेंट क्या है? If you get closer to your own assessment, I think you have done very well in your career. Anybody. So ये इलॉन मस्क के और स्टीव जॉब्स की बुक पढ़ने से कोई स्टीव जॉब्स नहीं बनता है ना.
True.
तो लोगों को ये धोखा होने लगता है कि उसका पोस्टर लगाने से और उसकी आत्मा हमारे में आ जाएगी. तो ये तो अभी तक तो हुआ नहीं कि किसी किसी की आत्मा आपका उसका पोस्टर लगाने से आ जाए. आपके पास अगर उतनी कैपेबिलिटी है, उतनी मेहनत है, उतनी परसिस्टेंस है और उतना लक है, तो हो सकता है हो जाए.
Hmm.
I give this example a lot of times. Sachin Tendulkar and Vinod Kambli started their career together. Everybody says that Vinod Kambli was far more talented than Sachin Tendulkar, right? कोई भी नहीं आपको मिलेगा जो बोलेगा कि तेंदुलकर was more talented than Kambli. क्या हुआ? तो वो स्टोरी सबको पता है. तो इसमें कोई कुछ भी छुपा ही नहीं होता है कि पीपल नो एवरीथिंग. वी डोंट वांट टू एक्ट बिकॉज एक्शन बहुत मुश्किल होता है. मतलब बहुत बहुत ही मुश्किल होता है. यू हैव डूइंग दिस, आई थिंक 49th एपिसोड यू सेड.
Yeah.
हर एक एपिसोड की प्लानिंग करना, हर एक एपिसोड को करना, एंड किसी किसी एपिसोड में व्यूज भी नहीं आते होंगे, फिर भी लगे रहना. This is all because you want to do this and you think that somewhere you are on the right path. So
Yeah.
this is getting you something, you are improving over a period of time, and at 50, 60, 70, some wheels will turn, and you will uh, you will get more traction in that sense. बट यही यही अप्रोच लोगों को काम में भी लगानी होती है कि आज कर रहे हैं फिर बाद में भी होगा, बट नहीं
Yeah.
करते हैं.
So now, talking to the next, that what to do now means we are, say, in our late 30s or early 40s, we are stuck somewhere. So, apart from the self awareness, because self awareness can only help us to know that whether we are actually really stuck or not, or whether whatever was considered to be very good, now it is not considered to be good. What to do now? How to break that barrier? How to break that glass ceiling, which we see, but actually we don't see it. We can feel it only. What we can do about that?
So see, I can only share what I think is right because और मैं I lay no claim that जो मैं सोचता हूँ वो सही है या वही सही है. But I can only share because some things have worked for me,
Yeah.
and since I do a little bit coaching, some things have also worked for the people I have coached a little bit or guided a little bit. Coached तो बड़ा word है, but at least guided. So on those principles, I can say a few things, and I recently over the last 2-3 years have created an acronym for that, SHINE. तो वो मैं शेयर कर सकता हूँ पर्टिकुलरली मिड करियर में. एंड मिड करियर में थोड़ा सा ये ध्यान देना पड़ता है, दो तीन चीजें हैं. दैट मिड करियर स्टार्ट्स आफ्टर 4-5 years of your career, and it lands right till the end for most people because very few people will be able to get to the senior management role. So
Yeah.
तो वो एक जो, and this is probably longer than you will be married. So people don't realize that this is a very very long period. 40-50 years, आप जितना भी काम करेंगे, 40 years का करियर है तो उसमें से 35-30 साल तो आपके मिड करियर में निकल जाते हैं, अज्यूमिंग कि मतलब उसी में रह गए आप. सो व्हेन यू गेट टू मिड करियर, यू आर नाउ एक्सपेक्टेड टू डिलीवर रिजल्ट्स. अब आपका सीखने सिखाने का काम हो गया, कोई लीनियंसी नहीं मिलती है, कोई यू माइट बी अलोन इन सम प्रोजेक्ट्स एंड सो ऑन. So what I say is that this Shine formula framework helps a little bit, and like all formula, it is not adequate and complete. So I'll run through it for your audience. S is for socially adept. So socially fluid, socially adept. So are you reaching the room before you reach the room? So agar Bhavya Mangla is going to a meeting, do people know about him? Do people know enough about him, understand him, know his mannerism, know his preferences? So he has reached the room before he has actually physically reached. And then when he reaches the room, he is able to mix with people, blend with people. So he's socially very fluid. So that social aspect, lot of people I meet उनसे that मेरा मन नहीं करता मीटिंग में जाने का, मेरा मन नहीं करता to go to some event, मेरा मन I'm not very good at phone conversation. तो मरो फिर. तो फिर आपके पास कोई इच्छा भी नहीं है, कोई क्वालिटी भी नहीं है, आपको उम्मीद रिजल्ट की वही है जो एकदम टॉप वाला है, तो वो तो होता नहीं है. तो दैट्स एस
Yeah.
इज फॉर सोशली फ्लूइड. एच इज फॉर हार्ड वर्किंग. नोबडी रियली फायर्स अ हार्ड वर्किंग पर्सन. तो अगर आपको लॉन्ग करियर चाहिए तो हार्ड वर्क ये सबसे ज़्यादा जरूरी है. ये स्मार्ट वगैरह वर्क के चक्कर में लोग पढ़ के ज़िंदगी खराब करें इंस्टाग्राम के चक्कर में. हार्ड वर्क हमेशा काम आता है. अगर आप 12 घंटे काम कर रहे हैं तो मैनेजर ऑफकोर्स ढंग का काम कर रहे हैं, ये नहीं कि 12 घंटे वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, ढंग का काम कर
Yeah.
रहे हैं, तो यू विल बी हैप्पी, योर मैनेजर विल बी हैप्पी, राइट. इन जनरल अभी लोग बोलेंगे वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस एंड ऑल, तो फिर बना लो वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस. तो फिर दोनों तो नहीं हो पाएगा. तो
Yeah.
आई हैव सम रेडिकल व्यूज ऑन दिस दैट पीपल, ये आजकल लिंक्डइन ट्विटर के जमाने में लोग वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस ज्यादा बनाना चाहते हैं, वर्क कम करते हैं. वर्क
Yeah.
लाइफ बैलेंस ज्यादा करते हैं, वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस कम करते हैं. तो उतनी बात कम कर लें और अगर किसी बीवी बच्चे से बात कर लें तो ज्यादा बेटर रहेगा. तो वो those aspects
Yeah.
are also there. H is for hard work. S, socially fluid, I already said. I is for initiative. So take initiative. Go beyond your role. जो आपका रोल है वही करते रहेंगे तो फिर वही जब सबको मिल रहा है वही आपको मिलेगा. तो अगर आप
Yeah.
इनिशिएटिव नहीं ले, इफ यू आर नॉट गोइंग बियॉन्ड योर स्पेस, तो हाउ विल योर मैनेजर, मैनेजमेंट टीम, लीडरशिप गेट टू नो दैट आप में कुछ और भी टैलेंट हैं? अभी आप मार्केटिंग में हैं, कल आप एचआर में भी हो सकते हैं, अभी आप एचआर में, कल मार्केटिंग में भी हो सकते हैं, या और किसी फंक्शन भी जा सकते हैं, और विद इन द फंक्शन ऑल्सो यू कैन गो। आप कुछ इनिशिएटिव तो लेना पड़ेगा ना। कोई इवेंट हो रहा है, कुछ और चीज़ें हो रही हैं, उसमें आपने हाथ खड़ा ही नहीं किया कभी, आप बैठे हुए हैं बस चीयर लीडर बन करके, तो चीयर लीडर
Mhm.
वाली सैलरी मिलेगी फिर। तो इनिशिएटिव जरूरी है। एन इज फॉर नंबर्स, सो मीट योर नंबर्स, particularly when your job is about numbers. If you don't meet numbers, and I don't mean only sales, और लोगों के भी नंबर्स होते हैं, सबके ही नंबर्स होते हैं। इफ यू आर मीटिंग योर नंबर्स, जनरली यू विल बी डूइंग अ डिसेंट जॉब जनरली।
Yeah.
तो दीज आर इंडिकेटिव नंबर्स। आप नंबर्स ही मीट नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो फिर आप उम्मीद करते हैं कि यू नो पीपल विल टेक केयर ऑफ यू, तो ऐसा होता नहीं। Is
Mhm.
emotionally agile. So this is probably the most important one. In a long career, you will fall down many times. कभी मुंह के बल गिरेंगे, कभी लोग आपके ऊपर से चले जाएंगे। आप में इतना दम है कि आप खड़े होकर के यू डस्ट ऑफ ऑल द injuries and whatever, and then you again walk. So when
Hmm.
you fall down, how will you get up? And fall down doesn't mean that you are getting fired only. You can be in
Yeah.
the job and still be sidelined and still be finding it very difficult to contribute, and find it, like we said, stuck. So it's not just for people who are fired, it's also for people who are still in the job, who might get
Yeah.
that stuck situation. So SHINE, shine, is something that I've used myself, I've developed myself, and I share it with every person who comes to me for any guidance, that इस पे focus करो mid career में, and of course then this has to be customized for people, because not everything will be equally applicable to everybody, तो थोड़ा customize वगैरह करना पड़ता है, but I think this is something I can leave your audience with, that try and focus on these 5 areas during your career. In general, you will find some some success. Of course, all of this has to lead to some outcome also. So if you are not delivering what is to be delivered, तो फिर आप कितने भी इमोशनली एजाइल हो, उसका कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता। तो दैट इज समथिंग आई कैन शेयर।
And I think what you're also trying to say is that even if you're failing is not bad. You should not feel demotivated. You should not feel like that. Why people are doing with me like this, and you start feeling like a victim. The important thing is that how you can, regain your strength, how you can challenge yourself and come back again. That's very important.
Absolutely. See, 99% of us, and 99 is a number, it might be much more than that. We are all in
Mhm.
that category जो हम कभी भी टॉप पे नहीं पहुंचेंगे।
Yeah.
सो इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि वी फेल्ड। जो हमारे पास टैलेंट था, जो हमारा हार्डवर्क था, जो हमारे पास जो जो किस्मत थी, जो परसिस्टेंस था, वो सब जोड़ जाड़ के अगर हमको लगता है दैट वी हैव डन वेल एंड वी हैव गिवन इट आर डिसेंट शॉट, बेस्ट भी नहीं बोलूंगा मैं, डिसेंट शॉट, देन
Mhm.
वी शुड बी हैप्पी। सो आई आई थिंक इट दैट वे। सो ये थोड़ा सा सोशल मीडिया में जो लिप्त है दुनिया इस समय, उसमें प्रॉब्लम ये होती
Mhm.
है, हम वही वीडियोस देखते हैं जो सब सक्सेस वीडियोस होते हैं, तो
Yeah.
वही वीडियो एल्गोरिदम भी पुश करता है, तो हम वो तो देख नहीं रहे हैं कि जो लोग हमारे जैसे लाखों करोड़ों लोग हैं। दैट्स व्हाई आई कीप सेइंग दैट आई रिप्रेजेंट द 99% ऑफ द वर्कफोर्स। सो जो ना तो आईआईटी गए, ना आईएम गए, कहीं पे भी सिलेक्शन नहीं हुआ उनका, कोई सिल्वर
Yeah.
स्पून नहीं था उनके पास, उनको ब्रिक बाय ब्रिक मेहनत करके अपना करियर बनाना पड़ा। जो बाकी लोगों को 35 में मिला, हमको 50 में मिला, चलेगा, दैट्स ओके, राइट। सो मिला तो
Yeah.
so that's the approach I use, and I think that has worked for me, and I can't be sit judge and say that others should use it, but अगर किसी को सीखना है तो ये सीख सकते हैं।
Wonderful, wonderful, Anshuman. So I think if I do a summary of everything what you said, that first of all, this midlife crisis is real. It is going to happen with everyone. It is happening with us. Sometimes we realize it, sometimes we don't realize it. And the important thing is that the first step is self awareness. we have to see that the way in which we were growing up, if that is slowing down, the kind of initiatives or the opportunities that we were getting it earlier, if we are not getting it now, or maybe the kind of appreciation which was happening, but now it is just considered to be a norm, then that's a time to understand that we are reaching a plateau. And now we to analyze it, we have to see that how we can reinvent ourselves. And then you shared a very wonderful acronym shine, that by understanding that, and the most important thing is first of all to accept that yes, you are stuck somewhere, or maybe you are in the process of stucking somewhere. And if we can use all these tools, and maybe if needed we can take some external help, then there is a high possibility that we can challenge ourselves, we can reinvent ourselves, and we can find a new version of ourselves, which is the most important thing in case we want to be in this, if we say, a race.
No,
Wonderful.
totally. I think I can say that you were a very good listener. तो पूरा समरी अच्छे से बता दिया आपने. बट बॉटम लाइन वही रहेगा कि
Yeah.
are you self aware and willing to take action. So that is true for
Wonderful.
everything in life. So including your career.
Thank you. Thank you, Anshuman. Thank you very much for your insightful thoughts. Thank
Sure.
you.
Thank you very much.